Nice. Okay, so in the first lecture, we will be going over course overview, and we'll also do some introductions to the TAs, and we'll talk about the introduction to signals and systems, and we'll begin our conversation about signal classification. So, my name is Mahmoud Hamid. My email address is listed over here. These slides will be converted to PDF and will be uploaded onto our class Piazza page. So any link that you see over here, you can directly click on that PDF and access that link. The course meeting times are going to be on Mondays and Thursdays. Today, by the way, is Monday. 10:30 a.m. to 12:05 p.m. and it will be on WebEx meetings, exactly the same platform that we are using right now. I will be sending out invitations ahead of time, probably the previous day, but I will also send reminder emails just before the meeting starts. So those reminders will be sent to your email address so that you can quickly click on the link there. I will be using WebEx meetings and not WebEx Teams. I just tend to like the WebEx meetings interface, and I've gotten used to it, and kind of it has become my preference. Now, I know several of you have worked with my WebEx Teams, and many of you like it. I would encourage you guys to kind of form groups by yourself, add your friends, discuss homework problems over there. However, when you write down your homework assignment, you do it by yourself, but individually. However, as a discussion in a group, you can use WebEx Teams. And I expect that you guys will be able to take care of that by yourself. Coming to my office hours, Wednesdays from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern, and I will be using WebEx meetings. The link to my personal room is over here. So you can just go to the personal room over there, linked over there from 4 to 6 p.m. on Wednesdays for office hour homework help or any other kind of discussion you want to have with me. Today is a Monday, technically, so my office hours will start from next week. We have two graduate teaching assistants, Seth Halpern and Pranav Shrestha. Both of them, I invited both of them to today's meeting. I don't know whether they are online or not. Maybe you guys can just introduce yourselves to the students. Pranav,
Seth.
you want to go first?
Okay. Hi, I'm Pranav. So yeah, this is a favorite class of mine too, and hopefully you guys can feel free to like email me or anything at any point when you have any questions. And the same thing with Piazza. We'll be monitoring it pretty consistently. So hope you can make use of the resources that are available.
Thank you. Pranav, do you want to maybe mention your research area and your background?
Yeah. So my undergrads was in Union College, and so my focus was in communications and signal processing as well. Here I did some modeling and simulation and power systems data. So my ultimate research interest is to try to work on signal processing, intersection of signal processing and machine learning. It's being figured out. I'm a first year PhD student, by the way.
Very nice. Thank you, Pranav, for your introduction. I wanted the students to kind of, understand that your research background is in the communication DSP area, and they can really take advantage of that. Uh, let's see, Seth, is it?
Hello.
Hey, Seth. Can you maybe talk a little bit about your research, your area interests, and so on?
Yeah, so I did my undergrad in, well, I didn't have a concentration necessarily, but right now I'm doing the co-term program. So I'm doing my master's and I'm focusing on control systems right now. And I consider signals and systems to probably be one of the most important classes that I've taken. So I'm really grateful that I get to be a TA for you guys for this class.
Thank you. Seth was actually in my signals and systems class 2 years ago. The first time I touched signals at RPI, he was in the class. Well, he was not in my section, but that's how I know. That's when I knew him, and he has worked with me as a teaching assistant last year for Coco, and he is working with me again here. This is the first time I'm working with Pranav, and I think it'll be both of them are an excellent resource, and you guys can take full advantage of their expertise. All right, so Seth and Pranav, if you guys want to go about your daily business, please do that, or you're welcome to stay if you need to, if you want to. But we will move on. As for my background is in fiber optic communications. So uh, I'm mainly an experimentalist. So I try to run experiments on fiber optics, which are related to communication applications. So within that fiber optic communication area, several of these classes play a crucial role. So for example, the most applicable would be communication systems. Now, communication systems, under that, signals and systems is a prereq to communication systems, which is a 4000 level class here at RPI. So uh, what I'm trying to say is signals and systems is very close to my background area, which is probably the main reason why I love it so much. My role here at RPI is mainly to teach, and I think I teach several of these classes, ranging from COCO to signals to communication systems to starting from intro to ECSE. Actually, I see several faces here who have taken intro to ECSE with me, maybe last year or the year before that. All right, so let's see. Let's move on here. The TA email addresses are listed on that PDF, so you can email them regarding questions. But the primary place where you should be looking at is Piazza, so that your questions can benefit other students' questions as well. All right, let me see. When I go up one more, I have the TA office hours and the problem solving sessions, also called as the recitation sessions. So the office hours, this is specifically for the teaching assistants. The office hours are going to be mainly for help while solving the homework problems. Now the TAs are going to help you, but they will not be able to do the problem for you. So they will give you clues about their role will be to give you clues about, okay, this is not the way you want to go about doing this. Probably try to think of it in this manner and try to do it in this way. So their goal will be to direct you in the right direction, in the right way, so that you don't get stuck. From time to time, there will be some MATLAB exercises that I will be assigning. So, you should use the few days that we have this week to install the base MATLAB version. So MATLAB and Simulink, just the base version. You don't need to, do the toolboxes. You can add the various toolboxes later on, as per need and interest basis. But from the RPI software, which is a part of the .cio, please install MATLAB and Simulink. I think the version that is currently available is 2020A, version A. So for those of you who have not installed it, install it. It's a very powerful tool, especially for signals and systems class, and even for other classes. And it is free for RPI students. So please take advantage of that. It is very helpful to have this skill on your resume, by the way. All right. Seth will be holding his office hours on Mondays, starting today from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And he will be hosting those office hours in his WebEx personal room. The link is provided over here. Pranav will hold his office hours on Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. His personal room is linked over here. So you don't have to kind of deal with multiple links over the course of the semester. So I thought it would be best if you just use our personal rooms, WebEx personal rooms, for the office hours. Now, recitations. These are optional problem-solving sessions where the TAs will take turns. So this week, the first Saturday, which is May 30th, Pranav is going to lead a problem-solving session, essentially to reinforce and summarize the weekly learning. So you will be able to follow along with the problems and then ask questions if you have. These sessions will be recorded and will be posted later on. I've asked the TAs to be in charge of that. So they will choose the form they record and the form they host those later on. Optional attendance, we will not be taking attendance there on every Saturday from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Like I said, TAs will alternate. So we'll go Pranav, Seth, and so on. And the location for these recitations is, again, going to be the personal rooms of each of those TAs. The links are up top. So, you just bookmarks those personal room links, and then you can go to them on Saturday for that problem-solving session. Questions so far?
Yeah, will there be a recitation session during the week of summer break at the end of June?
That's a very good question. No, there's no office hours, no classes, nothing due. Like I'm going to expect that you will have zero work related to the class during that time. That's the whole point of the break, right? Wait a second. So if you guys have all right, there have been some conversation about how to install MATLAB. Let me address that. Yes, you need to be connected to the RPI network through VPN, the Cisco VPN. And once you connect to that, go to just Google RPI software MATLAB, and it'll take you to the link, and then download from there. But yes, you have to be connected to the Cisco VPN from home. I updated my MATLAB version just last week, so I did it from home. Let's see here. Other questions? Okay. Now, there is going to be a lot of information about this class because of its nature, right? So much interest. Everybody wants to teach it. Everybody wants to learn it. It's a very, very, very elegant and a very useful class, which means that there are going to be lots of information online in form of textbooks and so on. I would point you to the Bible of Signals and Systems. The Bible of Signals and Systems is Signals and Systems by Oppenheim, Bilski, and Nawab. Professor Oppenheim is, if you go to MIT courseware and look up signals and systems, he has taught signals and systems at MIT for several years. I'm not sure if he's teaching even now, maybe not now, but if you go to MIT courseware, you can look at his lectures. He is kind of the leader, at least in the United States, on that particular topic. And the second edition of his textbook is considered to be the Bible of signals and systems. I was heartbroken when I saw Professor Radke throw it in the trash. I'm referring to the video that he made. You guys, I don't know if you guys saw that particular, I think it was on Instagram or Twitter. It was some social media where he made a video congratulating all the graduates. And he as a joke, he said, now all the people are going to throw away the textbook, and he chose to throw away the Signals and Systems by Oppenheim, and my heart skipped a beat during that time. Of course, it was all in humor. There was nothing serious to it, but that was a gut punch for me. Yes. So that's a primary textbook. Of course, as I said, it's optional. Everything is going to be recorded online. There's no absolute need for you to buy the textbook. What I mean by that is I'm not going to be assigning problems as 6.3, right? I'm not going to be doing that for the homework or the exams. But that's going to be the primary text. There are, of course, other supplemental texts. Sham's Outline is a resource where you can find a lot of practice problems. And there is LATI, Linear Systems and Signals. It also has a lot of good resources. Moving on, when are our exams? We have 3 exams, 2 midterm exams, exam 1 and 2, on June 25th, Thursday, July 30th, another Thursday, and our final exam is going to be on August 20th, another Thursday. That will be our last meeting, Thursday, August 20th. So please make a note on your calendar for these dates. Exam 1 is essentially the last day before summer break. And I spread it around so that they are about a month away from each other. Exams are going to be proctored on WebEx, exactly the same way as I am interacting with you right now. The details about exams and all the logistical minute details, all those will be communicated close to the exam time. But I want you to know that it will be proctored on WebEx. There will be 2 times, different exams, about the same difficulty level, but 2 exam times. One is the usual class time. This can be used by all the people who are on the East Coast, maybe even the Central time zone. But for other students, students from China, for example, and students from on the West Coast, you can sign up for the alternate time, which is 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Same day, different time slot, different exam. Hopefully, I can do a good job maintaining the level of difficulty. Questions or concerns about this? Yeah, it will most likely be open notes. But I think you guys should hope for closed book exams. Just because, the moment it goes to open book notes, you will be tempted to look at the resources, and especially for this class, I don't recommend it. So if I were sitting in your place, I would actually request for a closed book exam. But that's just me. Um, but to be fair to all students, I can make it open book. However, I would encourage you guys to not look at the resources and spend your time there. Again, more on this later on. Okay, let's keep pushing forward. Homework and MATLAB exercises. This should be quick and easy. Assignment submission and grading through Gradescope. We will try to return it within a week. The graded work will be returned on Gradescope itself. I have attached 2 resources on the class Piazza page. If you are new to Gradescope, please take a look at the Gradescope guide under General Resources on class Piazza page. The assignments will be made every class session. So for example, today homework 1 is going to be assigned today. It will be due after 1 week. So this first week is a little bit unusual because it starts on a Wednesday. So homework 1 will be due on the Monday of next week. But after that, it is going to be Monday to Monday, Thursday to Thursday kind of deal. The homeworks will be due 11:59 p.m. On Eastern time on Mondays and Thursdays. So you'll have a week to do it, even though you are getting the homework assigned every class. This is a scheme that was used in some of the classes where the students were able to still make progress, were able to do the homeworks without feeling too overwhelmed. In the previous offerings of Signals and Systems, I have done homework due every class kind of a deal, where Monday homework is due Thursday and so on. That kind of drains the students and it tends to be a little bit overwhelming and challenging. So we are going to spread it over a week so you have enough time to do it. The goal is to get some practice, some problem solving skills, and not to kind of drain you. Okay, let's move ahead. Late assignments will not be accepted. I will be dropping 3 lowest homework scores at the end of the semester to account for sickness, interviews, emergencies, personal problems, and so on. You guys don't need to give me any official excuse for these situations. Automatically, 3 lowest will be dropped. But if you get into some situations that are very, very unusual, please talk to me, please inform me so that we can make some arrangements. So there are a couple of questions on the chat box. I'm going to address those. The question is, so there will usually be 2 homeworks assigned per week. Yes, there will be a homework assigned on Monday. There will be homework assigned on Thursday, but they will be due after a week. So even though you are getting more homeworks, there is some time to work on it. And the goal is whatever you learn in the lecture, you get some practice for that lecture, right? So next question is, will we have some group assignments, usually 3 or 4? Not at the moment. I have not planned for it at the moment. If you guys want such things, we can talk about it later. Right now, I have not planned for that. One thing I want to mention about group work is this. Feel free to form groups, discuss homework problems outside of the WebEx meetings. I know that many of you know each other from other classes and are really good friends. So I would encourage you actually to form that WebEx team and talk about problems and discuss strategies and have that exchange of information. It will help you both. It will help all of us to do that. But as far as submission is concerned, I expect you to submit your own work. Let's see, are we getting homework assigned both today and tomorrow? Yes, it will be, but it will not be, a time consuming one. They will be very simple. Okay, I did some math calculations and I turned it in sort of homework to begin with. All right, so today I'll be assigning a homework that focuses on complex numbers. Complex numbers, most of you know complex numbers from previous classes. If you don't, then I have posted a very, very good resource on complex numbers online on Piazza. Please read through that. Essentially, how do you convert from Cartesian to polar coordinates for complex numbers? When you're adding two complex numbers, you can do it easily in rectangular or Cartesian form. If you are trying to multiply or divide complex numbers, it is convenient to do it in polar form. So things like that. I'm pretty sure you guys, if you don't know it already, you will be able to go through that 5-page document and get up to speed on that. And if we have time remaining in this class, we will do it even today. Let's see. Jason, go ahead. Feel free. You can start a WebEx team for the class. It's just that I may not be able to be a part of it just because I'm not unable to do it 24/7 kind of availability. It's just a little bit too overwhelming for me. But you guys absolutely go ahead. In fact, I would encourage you guys to kind of do it as a group. It'll be easier and more effective that way. Learn from each other. That's also something that we are missing during this time. So I would encourage this. Other questions? I promise you the boring part of this is going to end soon. I realize that people are yawning and stretching, and I know this is going slow. I realize this, but I want to spend reasonable time on this so that we don't miss out on things and then have to regret later. As far as your Gradescope submissions are concerned, I would encourage you guys to do it ahead of time, not at 11:58. I would hate to see this. Due date. Right? Number of submissions happening in a few minutes before the thing that is due. So let's not overwhelm Gradescope servers. Let's try to do it ahead of time. In fact, you can have multiple versions, right? You can have one submitted an hour before, so that even if there is some internet issues, you have some version of it uploaded. The y-axis over here was number of submissions. All right, so let's not have that happen. Let's see. Let's okay. I think that's enough about homeworks. Let's move on. Regrade policy for homework and exams. There is a regrade policy in place for homework. We are going to do a Gradescope regrade request within 2 days of receiving your homework. I don't want this to become like a after 1 week, I saw this happen. So we are getting homeworks in and out relatively quickly, like twice a week. You guys are submitting things. So within 2 days, I would expect you to review your homework and then apply for a regrade request on the Gradescope itself. In your request, please make sure you specify the reason clearly. For exams, please email me your regrade request directly to me within a week. So exams are high stake. So you have 1 full week to do that, to review your scores, to take a look at the solutions, and to apply for a regrade. One thing that I want to note is this. The syllabus that I posted on Piazza page has all the details about these policies. And there is a particular note about regrade policy and how we will apply that for partial credit, right? So in some cases where we have applied a rubric for the entire class, for a consistent partial credit assignment, we will not be able to change that. However, if we have made a mistake, like you have accidentally marked me wrong, even though my answer was correct, that is very reasonable. So I encourage you guys to read the syllabus document for all the details. Now, as far as academic integrity goes, I have provided a link over here which takes you to the RPI Academic Integrity Policy. Essentially, the idea is this: cheating, plagiarism, academic misconduct is something that I I don't like to use the word hate, but I dislike that the most. So in my experience as an instructor, I have had to do this unfortunate reporting and failing a student in the past, and I hope I don't have to ever do it again. And I just want your cooperation so that we don't have to ever think about that. I want you guys to note this. When all of this COVID business started and online instruction started, academic integrity was not our problem. We were not many people were concerned about academic integrity and all of those things. Our first problem was, how can we transition classes online? However, by the end of the semester, it turns out academic integrity was the primary concern, especially for the instructors. So I want you guys to note that, and I will be addressing this seriously over the summer. Ask questions, talk to friends, talk to TAs, talk to me, use all the hours that you have, use the recitation sessions. I will give you more resource than you can digest. However, do it by yourself. That way you are being fair to yourself and taking full advantage of this very elegant course. Okay, let's move on here. When I see an academic misconduct proof on the submitted work, I'm going to, and if it is noted by the TAs, that particular homework will get a 0 score, and a repeated violation will result in a failing grade. I want you guys to know that this has happened before. We are going to have a zero tolerance policy for exams. So that particular policy of getting a warning and then getting an F is essentially for homeworks. For exams, there's no tolerance there. Okay, and I know most of you might know this already, but any proof of academic misconduct will have to be reported to the Dean of Students. So it will be on your record. All right, let's move on here. I hope that was the last of academic integrity that we had to address as a group, at least. Okay. Grading criteria. Assignments, about 20 of them will be assigned over the semester, each of them roughly about 1%. So 20% for your homeworks. Exam 1, 25, exam 2, 25, and the final exam, 30% of your course grade. Let me stop this and start another video.